Hi everyone, my name is Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. One thing that I love to do at the end of every year is pass out some calendars, and the particular calendars that I made this year can actually fit right into an envelope. Here's the calendar, and it actually is a stand-up one. I'll show you that in a second. But look at this, you can fit it right into a standard Whisper White Stampin' Up! Envelope, pop a stamp on there, pop it in the mail, and whoever gets it is going to open it up and find this really awesome 2017 calendar on it. It's actually a 13-month calendar. The first month is December. And then look at this, there's a little wedge right here so that it allows the calendar to stand up on your desk. And I just love it. I used the Flourishing Phrases stamp set and die cuts to create this card. I had my assistant help me design it, and her name is Kim Lundstrom, and she did just a fantastic job. So let's go ahead and I'll start out by showing you what to do first. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need just a little piece of scrap paper because our stamping is going to go off the mat a little bit. And we are going to stamp that base, and so the base card is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. So we're just going to go ahead, fold this in half, and we're going to stamp the front half of it. So I'm going to just set this here on my scrap paper, and I'm going to take Tip Top Taupe ink, and then I have a stamp. This is our Flourishing Phrases stamp. And I've just inked up the big flourish in there, and we're going to do just some random stamping with that because really all we're worried about is the edges, and so let me go ahead and do that. Alright, so we have the base of our calendar stand stamped, and it looks so nice. So now let's go ahead and make this a stand-up base, because right now it's just going to fall down. So to make the stand-up part of it, I have another piece of Tip Top Taupe. This is 3 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch, 1 1/2, and 2 1/2. So let's see what this looks like. You can see those score lines there. So I'm just going to go ahead, we're going to fold this in half first, and then these little ends we're going to go ahead and just fold the opposite way. So we have something that is going to sort of look like a W when you've got it all folded up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some multi-purpose liquid glue on this edge, and then we are going to just slide that in. Actually, I can do it like this. Just measure that in so that it is attached to the bottom front of your card. All right, then we can go ahead and put a little more glue on. I'm going to put it on right here on this part. And so that's the other side of the W. And then we can just go ahead and fold this card down. So let me hold this in place just a second. And now we have our stand-up base that we're going to build our calendar front onto. So it looks just like this. So now let's go ahead and start building our base. So we're going to set this aside for a minute because the rest of our work is going to be done on this piece of Pool Party. This is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 inches. And we are going to need a Whisper White piece that goes at the top. This is 2 inches by 3 1/2. Again, I'm going to get my scrap paper in here because we're going to do a little more stamping. And you might notice that I've gone ahead and I've written top on this block with a permanent marker. That will come off with a little bit of Stays-On remover when I want to take it off. But I have a top to this flower because we're going to be doing some masking. So I'm just going to make sure that I stamp the top of the flower to the top of this panel. And that looks fantastic. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp some leaves. And I went ahead and I prepared a mask, and what I did is I just stamped the top again of that flower onto a piece of Post-it note, and then I mark the top of it so that when I go in, I can go ahead and find the perfect match to this flower. If you don't do that, you're going to be twisting and twisting and twisting trying to figure out which way it matches up. But if you do that, a little bit of preparation in advance, you'll find that it goes really quickly. So the leaves I am going to stamp in Tip Top Taupe, and I can just go ahead and put these in right like this. And this is why we need the masking, because we want to make those leaves look like they're coming in from behind the flower, which will look just like this. And now let me show you what that looks like once we take the mask off. There we go. So we have our flower in the forefront with our leaves behind. Now we just need to do a sentiment. So again, that's inked up in Tip Top Taupe, and it says, "Hooray for today." So we're just going to put this right down here at the bottom of that panel. And that panel is now complete. So I can go ahead and we'll just put some snail on the back of this. And we'll just set this right here onto this panel of Pool Party. So I'm just making sure that everything lines up and everything is nice and flush. We'll press that down. I don't want to spear my ink, so I'm just going to rub it from the back. And there it is. It looks gorgeous. Now we are also going to add just the tiniest little bit of embellishment, and that is a little tiny floral die cut that I cut out with the Flourish die cuts. That's also part of that Flourishing Phrases stamp set. You can purchase this as a bundle and save 10%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a glue dot, and I already have it on my paper piercing tool, and I'm going to set it, just a little bit above the center of the flower. I don't want my embellishment going too close to the hooray, and you won't be able to notice exactly where it is once this is all put together. So we're going to set this just a tad higher, and then we're going to cover up that hole with perfect white accent. And so the perfect white accents come like this. There's 2 sizes, and you get quite a few of them. I believe it's 75 different accents. And so I'm just going to take one that I've already been working with. Take it, and with my paper piercer, I'm just going to set it right there in the center of that embellishment. The embellishment was made with Pool Party paper, in case you're wondering. Then I can go ahead and kind of fluff this out a little bit. And isn't that pretty? Now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to set a piece of Tip Top Taupe here as a little mat for our calendar. So this is 2.5 inches by 3 1/8 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add that on with some multi-purpose liquid glue, just a little frame there. And then we're just going to center this in on the Pool Party down here. And that looks just awesome. The next thing we're going to do is add our calendar. Now I know you're going to ask me, where did I get the calendars? I am prepared. Here's where I got them. skybluepink.com. It's an online company, and they sell 2017 calendars, which are currently in stock as of December 20th, 2016. And so we're going to put that on with some multi-purpose liquid glue. And we can center this right here in the Tip Top Taupe panel. And now this is all ready to go onto our card. So let's bring the card base in, and we are going to put this on with dimensionals. As you can see, I used 5 dimensionals, and then we're just going to set this right here in the very center of this panel. And there it is. Doesn't that look fantastic? What a fun surprise this will be for someone to open up their mailbox and get this great little desk calendar. So here's the calendar that I just did. Here's the calendar that I had done in advance. Thank you so much for stopping by Stamping to Share today. I truly appreciate you. If you are interested in placing a Stampin' Up! Product order, please see my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, and there's links there that will take you to my online store. Have a great day. Bye-bye.